Hello everyone, I'm back and today we're building the village church and cemetery, and I just thought this would be a really cute little build, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I realised I haven't built a cemetery yet. I mean, technically I built the Coco inspired one for Day of the Dead, but I kind of built that pre the new pack coming out, like in anticipation for the new pack coming out, so I didn't actually build it with the new things. I have done a little update on the gallery, just so you know, so there is a version on the gallery which I have updated to obviously be a cemetery and put in a few items and things that came with the pack. But in terms of actually building, obviously, a speed build of a cemetery using the new pack, I haven't actually done that yet. And I thought, do you know what? We can double this up because it'd be really lovely to have, I think, a village church in Henford-on-Bagley. I just thought it'd be quite sweet. And yeah, so I thought we could make a church with a cemetery outside. And then it kind of also doubles up as a wedding venue as well. So, because I think if you're going to build a church, like the option to have a wedding there has to be there, you know? I don't know. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So you can kind of use it as both or however you want. And like I say, I'm building this in Henford-on-Bagley. I'm actually building on a lot I've never built on before. It's the park lot. And I actually do, where I'm building at the moment, I do actually kind of turn this lot around because I kind of started with having, in my mind, the Sims would come off that road track, if that makes sense. Like to the left of where I'm building the church now, there's like a bigger sort of mud track road. And that's kind of where I thought the Sims would come in on the lot. So I wanted the church to be side on, don't ask me why, and have the gate coming in. I don't know, it just kind of was the vision. But I later realised that actually the Sims are going to come in. There's like a little path at the front of the lot. I mean, yeah, it's at the front of the lot. Anyway, just having a moment, you know. So I end up switching this whole lot around so that the church actually becomes at the back of the lot, and it kind of works better because you're kind of walking through the gate and you can see it, but it's kind of like on its own little moment, on its own little hill, and kind of have the graveyard cemetery area in front of it. I don't know, it just kind of works. So yeah, at some point it will just switch where it is. That's the reason. So yeah, I really thought a cute little village church to have its own moments. I wanted to build it up on this kind of stoned wall, and then I'm going to put lots of flowers on it, which is quite fun. So yeah, I just really wanted to have its own moment, whereas the rest of it just kind of feeling more obviously just blended into the environment, the same height, terrain, etc, etc. So yeah, and actually the church turned out a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I envisaged obviously just having the space where you would be able to have an aisle and have, a seating area. But in the end, we actually have these kind of wings to it, which is quite cool. You kind of have these different rooms almost, but they're part of the main space, but we can kind of change them as you see fit, depending on maybe what kind of event you're hosting at the church. Because the other thing that I don't know about you guys, but churches near where I live, they often have things like tabletop sales or coffee mornings, so they kind of get used for a number of different things, and I guess it's just a good space that you can clear out quite easily and change, for example, you can clear out all the benches and then put a load of tables so you can have a coffee morning, or just very simple. The only thing I suppose it doesn't really have is a kitchen area, which it probably would have a small kitchen somewhere, but I kind of just stuck with the kind of just the actual kind of main space and then some toilets essentially. So kind of feeling I wanted it to be very feel like it's been there for a really, really long time, a really old village church. So yeah, I didn't put that in, even though it probably, I don't know that much, to be honest, about the history of what would actually be there, but I'm guessing it would have a kind of place where I suppose there would be a kitchen area. Anyway, that's what we have. I really love those new flowers. The flower bed, let's call it a bush. It's kind of a low-lying bush type vibe that I put at the front of the stone wall is really interesting. It's that kind of dull colour, which I do like, because I do think obviously a lot of the plants on this game are really, really bright green, luscious green, which is obviously good as well, but I like how there's that duller effect. Feels a bit more realistic in a way, because I find obviously not every single tree is bright green. Obviously, in the world of Henford-on-Bagley, it kind of is. Like, if you just look at this world, it is just so bright. It's always something that's kind of niggled me a little bit, but, you know, it is what it is. So I kind of like do the usual thing, obviously, later, where I'll kind of like dull down the grass a little bit. So it kind of worked that those flowers were dulled down as well. But the flowers behind it and the rest of the flowers I use are pretty bright. It's just kind of, I don't know, I think it kind of works. And like I said, the 2 flowers that I've put around the church wall, let's call it, are from that new pack that we got. And yeah, I love they're like poppies, aren't they? I think it's really lovely. Like, I don't know, it's just like they feel very delicate, like not a clumpy item, if you get what I mean. I find like some of the plants can just feel like a big bush, or like even the low-lying plants, it feels very one blocked item that's kind of just been like, there's like tiny hole gaps in it, if that makes sense. Whereas these are like individual plants, like little plants. I don't know, they just look really lovely, and the petals are really cute. So I did enjoy that. And this path that I built, I actually ended up having, I didn't build that path, I painted that path. The path that I've done, I actually ended up having to do multiple times, because every time I came off the game and, you know, saved it, finished for the like time I was doing it, and then when I'd come back on the game, the path had disappeared, which is kind of annoying. So I've done it multiple times, so that's why it might look slightly different sometimes, because I've had to redo it a couple of times. It's a really weird bug, that, isn't it? But anyway, so yeah, that's why they might look a little bit different sometimes. And you would have noticed, I didn't even notice when I did it, but I've just realised that we have now moved location. And like I said, that I've like flipped it so that we have the main path coming in from the front of the lot, off the little dirt path. And then there's also a gate to the right here to the church, which leads to where the big road is. Because I do feel like there'd be 2 ways of getting into this, because it's such a big space that Sims, you know, like, well, I guess in real life, like people would be able to get in through 2 different gates. Kind of makes sense to me. It kind of works because we've got the path and the road. So if Sims are coming from different ways, kind of makes sense, you know? And I'm sorry if you hear any like banging in the background, but my husband he's got the itch, because we did our like mini bathroom renovation, and that was really fun. And basically realised that like we have no storage in our house. I think that's like a common thing. And we were trying to figure out ways to do it like really, really cheaply to get more storage. And our bathroom had no storage whatsoever, like at all. Like we just put things like around the bath and stuff. And we've realised we could get like, I think it's like really in at the moment, these shelves that are basically like reclaimed scaffolding boards, and then just kind of hung on brackets. It looks kind of like rustic vibes. It's quite cheap, because obviously you can just get a board and then like kind of varnish it, or however you want to like do it up, protect it, whatever. And a couple of brackets, and put it on the wall, and it's like so effective. Like we have there's so much space now that we can put things like, and I'm gonna get a couple of baskets so that we can like hide things as well, if you get what I mean. But because I guess if you had like a cupboard or something in your bathroom, you can like put things away and it's like hidden. It doesn't matter if it's too much of a mess in there. Whereas like, yeah, I was thinking maybe getting a couple of little baskets, and we could like fill them and then put them on the shelf, and you can't see what's in it as well. It's like really easy, cheap solution to storage. And I think that's given my husband the itch, and he basically has found this unit on IKEA, which, by the way, like I know IKEA's like, you know, some people love it, some people hate it, but I love that they have this like design tool where you can like basically design your own unit. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. So like there's a couple of different bases, let's call it, like what do they call it? No, series they call it. So different ones that you can like then basically within that like change to how you want. And that was really fun. I was doing that the other day, and I basically designed this unit with like drawers and like a cupboard bit to fit in this gap we have basically, which is like crying out for storage. And then we're just gonna fill it with everything that we own. No, not everything, but like everything that just does not have anywhere to live, and books that are just kind of piled, stuff like this. And yeah, he really wants to get on and make it, but I've said you're gonna have to wait until I finish the voiceover because you're gonna make too much noise. So he is like there waiting me to finish the voiceover so that he can make it. I think it might take him a while. Although, again, quite neat that it's like you can kind of mix and match how you want to make your unit. So that, like, basically each part has its own, like, instruction, if you know what I mean. So you can, like, make the individual bits. So, like, the drawers, make the drawers, and then you make the cabinet, and then you can kind of, like, chop and change how you're then going to do it. So I'm hoping it's not actually going to take that long, even though it's quite a big unit, if that makes sense. So that's quite exciting. So yeah, so I'm just trying to, I said I'm doing this quickly. I mean, you can't do the voiceover any quicker, really, can you? It's just the time constraint of the video. But yeah, so I just conscious that he sat there waiting. But anyway, so this lot as well, I have to say, does look really, really sweet, like in the evening, nighttime. I put a few candles around, like I didn't go crazy. I am looking at it now. I probably should have put some flowers as well by some of the gravestones, although I guess your Sims can go in and do that. Obviously, if your Sims, if you want to put, like, you know, your sort of like family's gravestones there, you want to like tend to them, and like you might want to put some flowers down and stuff. I just kind of kept it kind of simple, just a few flowers, not too much. And then the church itself as well is quite simple. Like, I've not gone heavy with decorating it because, like I said, I feel like it's the space that would get changed to what is needed. So there's not like crazy decoration. It's just nice and simple. It's just, like I said, it's supposed to be like quite a very old church. So it's very simple. There's nothing like swish about it. But the layout, super satisfying to me, which I didn't have in mind when I built it. I just built the, you know, like I just put boxes and made the shape of it. Not thinking actually how I'm going to do the inside until obviously I got into the inside. And I was like, wow, this is super satisfying. I've got this like nice little porch area. You come in through the main doors, toilets on either side, like perfect little shape, and they can have little windows because they've got space for little windows, so it's like kind of discreet. And then you go into the main space, and then obviously to the left we've got this like, a bell tower. Like, I don't know, kind of, I like doing this. I like having like a tower bit on a church. I don't know, it's like really satisfying, although I don't know how many have this anymore, but I basically went for, I like having the first floor balconied into the main area and having like an organ there. Like, that is just, to me, like a traditional church vibe. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but it just is. That's what I like to do, and I like the idea of someone playing up there and then it kind of like fills the whole space with the music. I don't know, it's nice. Also, wouldn't it be super cute as well? It'd be kind of like thing where, again, I don't know how many churches have this, but like a choir would stand, like an area that would have been cute to make, like with loads of benches for them to be able to sit at. But obviously it wouldn't get really used, if you know what I mean. Like, it would just purely be for aesthetics. I mean, that's what we go for. But yeah. And then basically the tower, I was like, let's just make it feel like a little office space, or like a space where it might be used to store books, might need to like do prep work, just that kind of thing. Obviously it's very small, and if your Sim goes up and sits on that chair, then a Sim can't get, like, you kind of have to, there's not much space basically. But the floor above that is just a bell, which obviously isn't a functional bell. It's just because it's like nice to think that there's a bell there that they might ring for occasions. So your Sims don't need to necessarily get around that desk, because obviously that desk and chair does block it, like block being able to walk up to the next set of stairs. But I figured your Sims aren't gonna like actually go up there. Do you know what I mean? And then you'll see here, these are the two wings that I was talking about. So we've got like a left side and a right side, and I kind of made the left side set up for like a little ceremony, you know, for a funeral, which, you know, like I said, it's kind of, obviously, if you had a lot of people coming, then you could use that whole big space. I've set up the whole big space with the altar at the end. Again, I was really on about putting one of those altars, because I do think, obviously, that's not a common thing to see. Well, I don't think it's a common thing to see in a church like this. It would normally just be like a table at the end. And yeah, but I've put that just because obviously Sims, that's just kind of what Sims. And then, yeah, the space to the right, the wing to the right, I've just kind of made like loads and loads of books. I feel like it's added on. Like, if you see, I've turned the benches the way so that basically Sims could be sat there still part of the like congregation, if you know what I mean. Like, it still feels like they're part of what is it, you know, whatever is happening in the church. And then, again, you could do the same for the area of set for the funeral as well. But, you know, you can just chop and change it to however you see fit. But anyway, we've come to the end, so I'll leave you with some screenshots and see you in the next one.